All right, guys, day 2 of the playoffs is in the books. And today, well, we had a 50-point win. We had a game that felt like a defensive game out of, 2003 to like 2010, somewhere in that range. And then we had the Cavs and the Celtics do what they're supposed to do. But we got to start with this Warriors-Rockets game where, how many offensive rebounds did the Rockets have? 22? I want to say the Rockets had about 45 points at halftime, featuring a second quarter stretch where the Warriors threw a zone at them. One play, the Rockets tried to get Jabari the ball in the middle of the floor. Took too long to do it. Buddy Hield was pressuring him. Another time, through switches or whatever, it becomes Draymond and I want to say Pods doubling Amen in the corner. A play that was not against the zone, but I have to remember this one, where Şengün had the ball at the free throw line, and I feel like there were legit like 7 guys in the paint. His guy guarding him, which would have been most likely Draymond. I want to say like Jabari was in there. Amen might have been in there as well, and I'm like, am I looking at a game in 2025 right now? Because the guys guarding them were also in the paint too. You know what I'm saying. You combine this with some very erratic Jalen Green drives, a few of which I remember Draymond just blowing up or just multiple Warriors collapsing on, Fred missing however many open jump shots, and eventually it became Udoka saying, all right, Steven Adams, Şengün, Jabari, Eason, we are just going to have to out-physical them as much as we can for a decent stretch there over the third and like beginning of the fourth. Eventually we did see the starting fives come back. I mean, they were already doing this, but they had to ramp it up to another level. And I swear to you, man, like in the fourth quarter especially, when they fully committed to this, it felt like every time a Rockets shot went up, every guy on the floor was in the paint going forward on both teams. Now, I'm sure it was not actually that, but that's what it felt like. And then Şengün was the one guy who did have reliable scoring, a lot of it off of his signature Şengün shots, push shots or hook shots around the free throw line, being really physical with Quinton Post, bringing it up in transition one time. And so the Rockets, they grind it kind of back to a game. Meanwhile, we have Steph making every acrobatic Steph shot you can imagine. And I will also say early in the game, it did feel like the Warriors established, where is Şengün? Oh, he's on GP2. Oh, he's on Moody. Oh, he's on Pods, whatever. We're going to run some type of a screen action, whether it's on the ball, whether it's you off the ball, whatever. We're going to get him moving. If we can get him switched on to Steph, that's great. Or if we can do a similar thing with Jalen Green and Jimmy. It felt like a bit of that. But yes, eventually this game became a rock fight, and it turned into one team has Steph and Jimmy, and the other team doesn't. So whether that's Jimmy taking Tari Eason on one-on-ones, beating Şengün on like a mid-range jumper, very under-control drives versus this, at times, massive Rockets defense to go baseline to hit Santos for a 3. And then there's Steph, who hits a shot that has to be somewhere on the, not short, but somewhat long list of crazy off-balance threes that he's made in his career. I did also think when the Rockets were trying to target him early on, Steph was doing a good job of not just giving them that as easily. And when you use the term experience, you really think about Steph's game tonight, where there is just, at times, so much size on the floor for the Rockets and so much athleticism and physicality, and I feel like I keep using those words. He's just going to find a way. Any split second that he is open and they are wired to find him the ball, I mean, you would think based on Steph's efficiency, 12 for 19 from the floor, 5 for 9 from 3, that it was a breeze for him. Like, it was hard work to get open in this game, but that's what you do. Or that's what he does. Or he won't get open and he'll just make it anyway. One interesting thing with Steph later on was when they did try to lean a little more on the Steph screen at, like, let's say Steven Adams, the Rockets would trap that really hard. And in one sense, yeah, it puts the Rockets defense in rotation, but it does take the ball out of Steph's hands. And it's also a lot of length that Steph's got to get the ball over the top too. So, I don't know, it's something to look at moving forward. But yeah, the Warriors have seen that a million times. And then I will also say just moments of like Draymond or Jimmy helping off of Tari or Amen, even if those guys were making other plays. I mean, Tari had like that crazy block on the Jimmy lob. And again, like he was part of just the physicality craziness of the second half, especially for the Rockets. But I did feel like the Warriors just had way too much success with all of that. They did pull off some heads-up stuff late there where, like, Draymond blows up a cut for Amen because he just gets his hand in there, or Draymond swipes a Jabari drive off of Eason, or Pods, like, rotates under the basket to pull off basically a really quick switch on, I think, Jabari. He's got to make a tough pass. Jimmy steals that. So, yeah, it was cool stuff. And then on the other end, there were still like some moments as the Rockets had their super big lineup out there of the Warriors just being unable to get anything. There's a play where like Draymond and Pods both passed up potential drives, and it became like a GP2 corner 3. Moody made a huge corner 3. Yeah, we got to go back to Jalen Green. He was very bad. And I do remember moments where Moody was pressuring him like pretty early on possessions, but we all know the Jalen Green roller coaster whether it's making reads, whether it's just finishing around the rim, whether it's making pull-ups, whatever. And this is just the ultimate test for it. And the first day did not go well. I know that's not really enlightening, but I guess it's that simple. And some similar things for Fred. I mean, yeah, he couldn't make most of his jumpers. He eventually did get one late there, but that one pull-up he had in transition, I get it. They were desperate for any type of shot making besides grinding through offensive rebounds. Just a wild game of the Rockets being able to really get the game in the mud and influence it, and then the Warriors out executing them in the end, which was pretty much the blueprint for how the Warriors win this series. Now, will every game in this series end up being 95-85? I don't know. So there's that game. Next let's go to the Celtics and the Magic. I will admit I missed a good amount of the first half because of real life stuff, so my take is mostly around the second half, where I did still see a good amount of Paolo getting buckets. Now, they were kind of tougher baskets, and I mean, Drew had a great defensive stretch early there on Paolo in the second half, but it feels like, I mean, look, we all know the Celtics are going to win the series, but you get these plays where Paolo or Franz are isoing top of the key, or Paolo's in the post, mid-post, whatever, and they are able to score on that. I mean, more so Paolo in this one. But it feels like a formula that is, one, difficult to just keep doing, and also, two, have a good offense for the rest of your team, you know what I mean? But also, what else are you going to do? Like, this is the roster they have, and I'm not blaming those two. Like, they're going to do what they have to do. It's just the state of the Magic's offense. Now, sure, in the first half, they did actually match the Celtics in three-point shooting, but eventually, like, we know what this is with this matchup. And all I'm really hoping for is Tatum's wrist to be all good, Jalen's knee to be all good. That one time where he got blocked by the bottom of the rim, although it kind of looked like it was Jonathan Isaac for half a second, that was not encouraging. The one time he tried to take Wendell on a switch and could not get past him, he had a dunk later on that was nice as well. We'll see with Jalen. And I cannot forget, I love Derek White. That guy is so awesome. Okay, next up, the Cavs and the Heat. So, we all know the Cavs are going to win this series. I have chosen to just really kind of fixate on Mobley's offense, and in this one, it did feel like a good amount of, well, Bam is on him, and any screen action is a lot of the time going to become a switch. He's kind of just relocating to the dunker spot, at least on some of these plays later on, which become like Isaac Okoro corner threes, and I'm just like, well, okay, whatever. But when he did try to post up Bam one time late there, I think he like airballed a hook shot because he wasn't able to really knock Bam off of his spot. I don't know. Between switching and the Cavs having other options to score, and Highsmith just wrestling the hell out of Mobley when he can, it just didn't feel like the Evan Mobley scores a whole lot of points a game. Perhaps there's a formula in there, which is just be physical, especially off the ball with him, to where he can't get the ball in certain spots. But also a big thing with Mobley this year has been getting the rebound and just pushing it himself. And he did that to basically open the second half, went right at Khalil Ware, got his own putback. So like, okay, there's still that, but yeah, I don't know. I'm mostly just scouting potential Cavs things for a Celtics series, pretty much. As for the rest of the game, I mean, the Cavs are better than the Heat, you know that. And then we go to Grizzlies Thunder. Whoo boy. We got to do 3 more of these games, huh? If I can attempt to find the stretch of the game that meant the most, I guess. I mean, Caruso had like 3 awesome defensive plays on Bane, whether it was locking him up one-on-one, helping on him, closing out on him, whatever. J-Dub is walling off Jaren in the post. iHeart is locking up the paint to where Desmond Bane's making desperate passes, and it's Isaiah Joe transition 3. J-Dub stealing a pass for a bucket, or shot clock violations is Kaysen Wallace is just terrorizing Scottie Pippen Jr. The Grizzlies have not been good versus good teams for a while now, and even so, that just felt like something else.